Hey guys, it is Thursday, and today we are going to continue to talk about angles. And all week we've been learning about angles and what they are, and the different types of angles that we have. We have right angles that measure 90 degrees, that look like an L shape, and they have two rays. Acute angles also have two rays, and acute angles measure less than 90 degrees, so they look like they're that small V shape. We have obtuse angles, and obtuse angles are the larger angles, they're the wider angles, and they're greater than 90 degrees. So they measure more than 90 degrees. And then finally we have straight angles, and straight angles is pretty much almost like a straight line here. You can see on our handy dandy protractor. Straight angles have two rays, one, two, and they measure at 180 degrees. And that's how it looks on a protractor. So a straight angle is like a straight line, 180 degrees. If you see the right angle, the line, it looks like the L, like the ray going here and the ray going there. You see that the line ends at 90 degrees. The ray, I guess I should say. The ray ends at 90 degrees. So that's how it looks on a protractor. Today, we're going to be learning how to measure angles on a protractor using a protractor. So you guys are going to be able to use your own protractors today to measure unit angles. So we've been looking at all of the different categories. We've been sorting by looking at the different kinds of angles. Okay. Today we're going to measure them using a protractor. And remember, a protractor from Tuesday's lesson is a tool used for measuring angles in degrees. And it looks like this. Let's take a look at this video on how to use a protractor.
Hello everyone. Thank you again for joining me on this problem where we are going to get a little bit more practice and experience with measuring angles using a protractor. So here we want to know what is the measure of angle MLN. So the first thing that we want to do is identify that.
So what they're talking about here, they're saying what is the measure of angle MLN? And what that means is they're looking at MLN. They're looking at this whole angle right here. And how we know it's an angle, we can see that circle in the middle that makes it an angle. And it starts at M, the vertex is L, that point where the two rays meet, and then it ends at N. Okay, so we have M, L, N. So they're trying to figure out what the measure of that is. How many degrees is that? So we're going to find out how to do that.
Specific angle on the diagram. So we see angle MLN is formed by the points M, L, and N with the vertex at point L. So without any numbers or angle measurements given to us on the diagram, we need to ask the question, how can we measure an angle? Now in our geometry toolbox, we have a protractor, which are commonly used by students as ninja throwing stars, but they can actually also be used to find angle measurements. Don't be that student. Please don't be that student. Okay, so this is how it works. Take our protractor, we see that it has that center marker, and we are going to align it with the point that is the vertex of the angle that we want to measure, in this case, point L. So again, we align that center marker with the vertex point, and we also want the flat horizontal portion of the protractor perfectly aligned.
So the first step when you measure an angle with a protractor, as you can see the video, they put the center of the protractor on the vertex. So they put it on that L, and now they'll be able to look at the numbers.
Line with the bottom line of our bottom ray that makes up our angle. So now we can use the top ray, in this case the line that starts at point L and goes through point N, and see what measurement it is aligned with on the protractor. So the protractor shows us that angle MLN has a measure of 60 degrees. Our conclusion is that angle MLN is 60 degrees, and we are finished with this question. So this is a little bit.
Okay, so this one is an easy one. When they put the protractor on the vertex and they're able to determine that this line is obviously at 0, this ray is at 0 degrees because it's just a flat line. And angle M, because remember we're looking at M, L, N, angle M is at 60. Okay, and how do they know that? Check out these numbers: 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Okay, that's how they figured out that it was measuring at 60 degrees.
A bit more practice helping you to understand how to use a protractor to find the measure of a given angle. And that's really all there is to it. So I will catch you guys next time. Thank you again for stopping by. You guys are the best. Have a good one.
All right.
All right. So that's it for that lesson. Hope you found.
That's it. All right. Another visual here. An angle is formed by two rays sharing a common endpoint. So we learned that this week. And an angle is measured with reference to a circle, which has a total of 360 degrees. All right. That's what we kind of use. If you take a protractor, this is like half of a circle. So if you have two protractors and put them on top to bottom, you'll get a circle. Okay. A circle measures 360 degrees. So when you have 180 and 180, you get 360. Degrees are used to measure angles. We've already talked about that. And a protractor is used to measure angles. We've already talked about that. Most angles you will measure this year will be under 180 degrees. So we will use this half circle protractor to measure angles. So don't worry about this circle part. We're only going to be using this half circle protractor. So let's take a look at measuring some of these angles. All right. Let's look at angle A. Well, angle A, remember, when the angle A looks like this, it's that straight line, that ray that goes straight this way. And if I put my protractor at the vertex point here, we are measuring angle A only at 0 degrees. We're looking at these numbers right here on the bottom. Okay. Angle B. Let's take a look at what angle B looks like. Well, I put my point at my vertex and I measure. Angle B is measuring at 30 degrees. Do you guys see that right here? 10, 20, 30, and my angle B is measuring at 30 degrees. C is measuring, I put my point on my protractor on my vertex, measuring to 50 degrees C. D, again, same thing, vertex. I go all the way up and it's measuring at 90 degrees, D. E, take my protractor, put it at my starting point. D is going to be 120 degrees. You see that right here. Okay, right here. E is going to be 120. And then F, take my protractor, put it at my starting point, and then I measure. I go up 140 degrees. So that's how you would read that. There is a video on Miss LaPlante doing that, if you'd like to watch. And this is your job for today. This is your job. So your job is to measure. Okay, measure using a protractor. What you're going to do is you're going to look at this protractor. Obviously, you have an obtuse angle right here. So you know that an obtuse angle, just by looking at it, it is wider, so we know that it's going to measure more than 90 degrees. This is going to be greater than 90. So you have a line here which is 0. That's not what your measure is going to be. You're going to measure what this line is right here. So approximately, what do you think the measure of this line is? Remember, we're looking at these numbers here. We're looking at the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, 180. We're looking at this column to measure because as an obtuse angle, it's going to be greater than 90. So it's going to be somewhere around here. What number do you think that angle falls under? Put your answer. What you're going to do is you're going to click on the computer here. So you're going to go into your slides, okay? 18 and 19, you're going to go into your slides today, and you're literally going to backspace and you're going to type in the number, okay? That's obviously not what the answer is, but however many degrees it is, you should be typing that in. Same thing with number 19, slide 19. This is what you're going to be doing. You're going to use the protractor to measure this acute angle. And how do I know it's acute? Because it's less than 90 degrees. Okay, remember we're still looking at that 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 column right here. And this angle, we have our 0, but we're looking at this ray right here. This ray determines that it is acute. It is less than 90, and it's falling under this category between this area, somewhere in this area. So let me know, what number do you think this falls under? You're going to type it in to your slide, okay? And that's all you're doing. Submit, let me know when you finished, comment when you're done so I know to go in and check your work. Today, if you would like extra help, if you think you already know what you're doing, great, go for it. Complete the slides. Let me know when you're finished. You don't need to come in to drop in if you don't need help. All right, I just wanted to put that out there, and I will talk to you guys later.